Before we start, make sure you follow me on Instagram at DarkCornersTV. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Dark Corners. I'm your host Dark, and we're doing some more scary videos. In this video, we're reacting to another Llama Arts animation. This time, it's called A Creepy Deep Web Story 2 Animated. Before we start, guys, make sure you leave a like on this video. Let's try to hit like 2,000 likes for another Creepy Deep Web Story. If Llama Arts ever makes more. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below so you don't miss any other videos. And hey, did you know we got some new merch? Darkmerch.co.
I was 26 years old, and I was unemployed. Feeling unfulfilled by the monotony of a job life, I decided I would try my hand at working from home. So my days and nights comprised me of surfing the internet for any jobs I could get.
Y'all see he has a webcam on top of his screen. Wanna bet that's gonna be important to the story later. I'm just calling it right now. And I'm usually right, I already know that.
So more often than not, I'd stray away and waste time doing other things. One day, I came across talk about the
That was
deep web
PewDiePie.
while on Reddit. I felt amused by the people talking about it as if it was something so scary, and decided I'd look into it. It was stupid of me to go on it in the first place, but I made it
True.
even sillier by deciding to check it out late at night. It was about 2 a.m. and I came across a website where you could chat with someone anonymously.
Ooh, on the
The
web?
person I got was a woman. She was in her early 20s and very pretty. She sat with her head in her hands, looking playful into the webcam while batting her eyes. I had no desire to turn my camera on and started our chat, thinking that while I didn't come across anything scary, I could befriend this
She
pretty
can
girl.
see you, wanna bet?
Sounded like a better deal anyway. She told me to turn the camera on, but I ignored that request and tried to get her to talk. She finally did after some prodding, but I noticed how guarded she was. I
She's
also
kidnapped.
noticed how after every message I sent, her eyes would look off camera, either to her side or somewhere behind her
She's being
computer.
forced to do this.
After a while, it started getting annoying, so I asked her if someone else was there with her.
I want to see you first.
She said. Up until now, I'd been chatting while she'd answered my questions verbally. I'm not that curious,
Don't be scared.
she said, laughing, this time looking behind the laptop again and making a face that seemed to indicate she was laughing at my expense, with someone else.
Huh?
This is getting boring. It feels like I'm not just talking to you.
I heard the door open.
That's because you're not. You're talking to all of us.
Who else is there?
Turn your camera on.
Is this a joke?
Turn it on.
Okay, I'll be leaving.
You're really gonna turn it on? No, he's not.
Turn
Good
on the
job.
camera.
Her laughter was almost piercing by now. There was nothing humorous about the situation, yet she threw her head back with riotous
Holy moly.
laughter. I'd had enough and moved the cursor over to turn the chat box off when I saw the cursor had jammed. The only thing that was working was the chat box.
Uh-oh.
I still had access to the keyboard.
Turn
You
the
messed
camera
up,
on,
son.
sweetie.
You messed
Her
up, son.
gumdrop-filled voice was louder than before, and I moved my gaze up to see her smiling toothfully at the camera. Her face still beautiful, but the smile completely fake. My computer's crashed. I can't see the screen. Sorry. I lied.
He
I
lying.
didn't want her to know I had no option but to chat. Her screen flashed before going blank. There was
There you go.
nothing there but a
They
black
got you now,
screen.
son.
I felt relieved, thinking that at least I didn't need to talk to her while I tried to figure out what happened to the screen. Just then, a chat message popped up.
Open the damn camera, you.
The aggressiveness in the message frightened me. Now, the fact that I couldn't see her face while she typed this made me feel nervous. I didn't dare reply back, but then the cursor moved. I watched shell-shocked as the cursor twirled around the screen.
no. They're gonna connect his
Open the
webcam.
camera now.
I still didn't make a move. There was no way anything
God.
good would be waiting for me if I did what she asked. The screen began flickering, as if a virus was
Why doesn't
causing
he
the
just
computer to writhe in
Unplug the
agony.
PC.
You want me to find you?
My heart raced. Could it be possible she knew where I was? I started typing. Please stop bothering me.
Then turn on the fucking camera.
By this point, I thought she was some kind of sadist and got her kicks by scaring unassuming people. in
What's
chat rooms.
happening?
so I obliged and turned the webcam on. I saw my frightened face staring into the screen. Judging by my face, my attempts at looking tough were painfully unsuccessful. I asked around for the girl looking straight into the camera, telling her I did what she wanted and to stop hacking into my computer. There were several seconds of silence. I kept my stare directed to the little box that showed her camera feed, but it was pitch black.
She's in your
I
room.
motioned into the camera in confusion,
Look behind you, bro.
feeling as if she was messing with me now.
Look behind you.
Then I saw another message.
Look here.
After a few seconds of staring at those words, I looked back at her camera, but my computer
It's the back of his head.
malfunctioned.
Wanna bet his camera is gonna
I
show the
received
back of
another
his head.
message.
Or his house.
Don't look up.
The chat was filled with nonsensical gibberish. She typed with such ferocious speed, my screen whirled away with her constant messages. I couldn't understand what was going on, but I didn't look up. My patience ran thin, and I wrote back, "What is this supposed to mean?" Her response came. I read only the letters
What?
in bold and shuddered. I
Look
looked back into
up.
her webcam, and I fell back into my chair, my eyes widening. She was back there. Only her face looked completely demented. She had a savage expression.
What?
Devoid of emotion. But her eyes were almost popping out of their sockets, and she was huffing as if she had extreme amounts of pent-up rage. The way she looked directly into the camera made me feel she despised me with all of her being. There was no amusement there anymore. Her camera went blank again. Then the chat popped up.
I don't get it. Is she maybe like a monster or
My
something?
heart stopped again.
She's still human,
For a split
right?
second, there had been the same blackness, only for the lights to come back on. She wasn't alone anymore.
What? Siri, why? What? Why is Siri listening to me?
There was a man next to her with a black mask on. He made
She
no movements other
is
than look into the camera
scared.
like the girl.
She's not
The
mad.
girl's neck creaked
She's
to her
scared.
side. It looked like it was causing her pain. And then the lights went out again. The chat resumed.
Up.
This time, I screamed in fright and fell off my chair. There was another man with them now. He was standing next to the girl with the original one on the other side.
What is
This
going
man
on
had
here?
the same mask on, but his hands were grasping.
Is
the
she
girl's
maybe dead and they're
shoulders.
just like talking to her with
Even
her
with the
face?
subpar quality of the
Like a
webcam,
puppet, you know what I
could
mean?
see the force
A
with which
ventriloquist?
The man dug his hands into the girl. It looked like he could rip her in two. The girl, however, had a huge grin on her face. Her eyes were mad with glee, or so it looked. Her teeth were perfectly lined up as her mouth spread into that
Or she's
toothy grin.
fake?
But I could see she was in pain. Even with the smallest sign of her smile fading, the man clenched his hands even tighter than before, which made her smile even wider. All
I don't
three
know
of
what's
them were
going on here,
shaking,
guys.
as if it was extremely cold where they were. After a couple seconds, I realized they were shuddering, like trying to hold back laughter.
What are you laughing at?
I yelled into the screen. They didn't answer, and continued to tremor with concealed hilarity.
What is so damn funny?
I bellowed. They stopped shaking. Within a couple seconds, the screen went black again. When it turned back on, the man no longer grasped the girl's shoulder, neither was she smiling. All three pointed into the camera. Upon a closer look, I understood that they weren't pointing at me. They were pointing behind me. I didn't need to look back, I could see myself in the webcam. There was someone peeking from behind me. It was another man in a mask, and according to what I saw in my webcam, he was with me in my room, right behind me. I turned around quickly, but saw nothing where I had seen him in the webcam.
How does that work?
I turned back towards the screen and, to my bewilderment, saw a third man in the girl's chat box. It was the same man I had just seen standing in my room. Now, all three had their hands on the girl and were gripping tight. The girl wasn't laughing anymore.
What?
She had a look of utter devastation. A tear was dropping from her eye, but it wasn't just a tear. It was blood trickling down her eye socket.
Oh hell nah,
She then
son.
mouthed the words, "Help me." And the next second she screamed as if her lungs were being ripped off as the screen went black. I immediately got up and pulled the plug out of
Should
my
have done that
computer and
earlier,
backed
you
out of
fool.
the room. For a couple seconds, I swear I heard her screams even though the computer was unplugged. The room went quiet, but I was too devastated to stay there and ran out of my house despite it being 3 a.m. I caught a cab and went over to my friends, who had to talk me down for an hour before I could be calmed. I returned back to my house with my friend a day later. Everything was the same, and after thoroughly checking around the house, we concluded that there was no one there, nor was there a sign of anyone.
Or they
ever
just
having
left
broken
while you
in.
were gone?
I've never gone back to the deep web. My friend suggested it might have been some prank by computer hackers, but the way that girl shrieked, the terror she had on her face, it convinced me she had been a victim herself. I'd wondered if I had stayed on for longer, if I would have become a victim too. Could those men have found me? Was there really someone in the room with me? There was nothing I could do, because there was nothing concrete to report to the police.
Sure,
What
sure.
I did do was throw the computer out and buy a new one.
I mean,
There was no way I could even open it back up.
they have your IP though, isn't that how it works? They just need your internet connection, not your actual PC. Or am I just stupid? Y'all let me know in the comment section if I'm actually right, because to be quite honest with y'all, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it sounds correct, so let me know if I actually am. Well, that was the Deep Web Horror Story Part 2. I think this one is actually creepier than the first one. It's also more surreal, more unrealistic. I really hope you enjoyed this one though. If you did, make sure you leave a like right down below. And don't forget to let me know in the comment section which other videos I should react to. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out the merch, darkmerch.co. And hopefully I'll see you all next time. Dark, signing out.